8 women, 1 track, and a 200 meters final that has Europe's best ready to go. Alverte-Song, Valentin, Fischer, Castellani, Richter, Safarova, Petrosky-Konings, Danikova, France, Italy, Germany, Belgium, Czech Republic. Who takes gold? On the outside in lane 8, Ludivine Alverte-Song of France. She ran a personal best in the semis to earn her place in this final. Elisa Valentin, Italy, lane 7. Only 5 European women have ever broken 23 seconds at her age, and she's the overwhelming favorite to make it 6. Luna Fischer, Germany, lane 6. Personal best of 23.86 in the semis, and she'll need to beat that again to get on this podium. Margherita Castellani, Italy, lane 5. She beat Fischer by 0.02 of a second to win her semifinal, and she could make this an all-Italian medal moment. Pauline Richter of Germany in lane 4. She was the fastest qualifier for this final, strong and composed down the stretch all week. Johanka Safarova, Czech Republic, lane 3. Won her heat, finished second in her semi, and she's chasing a lifetime best in the 23s. Lauren Petrosky-Konings, Belgium, lane 2. She got a blistering start in her semi-final, and she'll need that same burst off the line tonight. And on the inside, Sylvie Danikova, Czech Republic, lane 1, ran sub-24 in qualifying and steps into this final, ready to compete on the biggest stage of her career. The crowd is loud here in Slovakia, and the tension inside this stadium is real. 8 finalists settling into the blocks now, focused, completely dialed in. This field has already shown it can run fast. The semis proved that. Valentin is the name everyone keeps coming back to, the overwhelming favorite, but favorites have been tested all night in this arena. Castellani ran a brilliant semifinal. Richter was the fastest qualifier. Nothing about this race is guaranteed. The question is, who delivers when the gold medal is on the line? Officials are in position. The athletes are set. The crowd quiets down. Here we go. They're off. Clean start across the board. Castellani has flown around that first bend in lane 5, putting enormous pressure on Valentin to her outside. Valentin is driving hard. She cannot let that gap grow. Richter right there too from lane 4. Into the final straight, and Valentin digs in, surging, pulling away. But Castellani is not letting go of this race. Valentin hits the line first. Alessa Valentin wins gold, 23:09, a championship record. Italy on top of Europe, and Castellani pushed her every step of the way. Valentin dug deep and delivered. What a champion. What a race. Listen to this crowd. Valentin throws her arms wide, and she knows exactly what she just did. The scoreboard tells the whole story. Castellani, silver, personal best of 23.35. Richter, bronze, personal best of 23.50. Personal best for all 3 on the podium tonight. This entire final delivered. Valentin is draped in the Italian flag now, soaking in every second of this. And the Italian fans in these stands are absolutely going wild for her. The Italian fans are going wild. Valentin just delivered Italy's 4th gold medal of these championships. 17 years old, and she ran 23.09. What a performance. Here's the slow motion replay, and watch this from the gun. Valentin gets out cleanly, but it's Castellani who pounces off those blocks in lane 5. Her acceleration into the curve is aggressive. She's low, she's pushing hard, and by the time they hit the apex of the bend, Castellani has generated a lead on the inside that nobody saw coming. That's not a semi-final effort. That is a championship final performance through the first 100 meters. Now watch Valentin respond. She feels Castellani pushing from her inside, and rather than tighten up, she opens her stride. The arm drive is ferocious, short and powerful, and you can see the moment she fully commits to the straight. She's not coasting, she's racing. That distinction matters. A lesser athlete hesitates when a rival appears from the inside. Valenciennes doesn't flinch, she accelerates. Richter in lane 4 is superb through the bend, too. Her transition from curve to straight is smooth, her posture stays tall, and she gives everything she has down the home stretch to lock up that bronze medal. But the real story of this replay is the battle between the two Italians. Castellani is still right there at the 60-meter mark of the straight. She hasn't faded, she hasn't cracked. She's pushing Valenciennes all the way to the line. And that took genuine courage from a teenager in a championship final. And Valenciennes finds another gear. Watch the final strides. She pulls clear, and the gap at the line is decisive, but absolutely hard-earned. 23:09. That's the 8th fastest time ever run by a European woman in this age group, and it's a championship record for these championships. Castellani's 23.35 is a massive personal best, more than 0.3 of a second faster than she had ever run before this final. Richter's 23.50 is among the fastest times a German sprinter has produced in the modern era. 3 women, 3 personal bests, 1 extraordinary race. All the pressure, all the expectation, and Valenciennes delivered exactly when it counted most. This podium earned every bit of that applause. Alessa Valenciennes, European champion, championship record, 17 years old, and she's just getting started. Castellani took the bend like she had nothing to lose, which is exactly why she nearly won it. From lane 5, she threw everything into that first curve, generating a lead on the inside that forced Valenciennes into a decision. Respond now, or let this race slip. Valenciennes responded. That moment, somewhere around the 120-meter mark where the straight opens up and the stagger disappears, is where this final was actually decided. Not at the line. Right there. When Valenciennes opened her stride and refused to let the gap hold. A softer competitor folds under that kind of pressure from a teammate. She didn't. The mechanical story of this race is about curve efficiency. Valenciennes, in lane 7, had the widest stagger, which means she ran her first 100 largely in isolation, unable to read the field in real time. What she could feel was Castellani pushing hard from her inside, and the clock. Her arm drive through the straight was the tell. Short, quick, driving forward rather than across the body. That's not panic, that's trained response. It produced 23.09 in a championship record. The margin over Castellani was 0.26 seconds, which in a 200 sounds comfortable, but absolutely wasn't. Castellani ran 23.35, a massive personal best. You don't get pushed to a championship record by someone who's having an ordinary night. Richter's 23.50 bronze deserves its own sentence. She was the fastest qualifier coming into the final, and she delivered under pressure, running a personal best from lane 4. Johanka Safarova finished 4th in 23.91, which is a solid championship result for the Czech. Alverte-Song ran 23.92 in 5th, essentially matching Safarova stride for stride from lane 8. Fischer, also German, crossed in 24.07 for 6th. Given that Richter ran 23.50 in the same final, that's a significant gap between the two German athletes on the night. Petrozzi Konings in lane 2 ran 24.12. The outlier is Danikova, who crossed in 26.59 in lane 1, well off the pace of the rest of the field. The number that matters historically is 23.09. Only 5 European women had broken 23 seconds at Valenciennes' age before tonight. She is the 6th. That's not framing, that's a verifiable list, and it's short. The championship record means this is the fastest this specific competition has ever seen in the women's 200. And the Italian 1-2 adds another layer. 2 athletes from the same country, the same federation, finishing 1st and 2nd in a major European final, pushing each other to personal bests. That kind of depth doesn't happen by accident. Italian women's sprinting is producing something real right now. At 17, Valentine's competitive ceiling is genuinely open. A championship record at this age, under pressure from a teammate who ran the race of her life, is a different kind of win than cruising clear in a weaker field. She was tested and she answered. The next markers are obvious. Sub-23 is now the target, and the major senior championship cycle will start appearing on her calendar sooner than later. What this race proved is that she doesn't just have speed, she has the composure to use it when someone makes it hard.